No, I'm not gardening. Decided to go out for a walk. That's when I do a lot of my thinking, and I look at the trees and the grass and the different birds and uh, you know, I did manage to read some comments from some people. I don't make a habit of that. It's usually by accident. But I noticed that a lot of folks want to insist that this entire thing that's happening um, is actually just a system, and that the examples that are used, like calling one thing a beast and another thing a beast and all that, saying that it's just a system that we're dealing with. And I just wanted to point out that that's not entirely untrue. Matter of fact, there's a lot of truth to it, which I will probably get into maybe tomorrow morning. I'm thinking about putting a program together kind of on the lines of the fruit I was talking about before, where I was going to have an example of what you can do with fruit and how it can weigh you down. But uh, I do want to address, and I hope this gets up. I hope the upload works. It's a little bright out here, even though the sky is filled with particulates from the fires in California and the spraying that they're doing, and who knows what else. The New World Order and the Antichrist spirit and all that, it is a system. And a lot of people wonder why I talk so much about family and the importance of the love between a man and a woman, a husband and a wife, the children, and all that. And some time ago, I did a religious, well, a spiritual video. In my religious series, you can probably find it if you want to go through all those. I don't remember which one it was. But I talked a little bit about what's known as the Tetragrammaton, the YHVH, the one that everybody pronounces Jehovah usually, or Yahweh. It's not how you pronounce it, but it's good for the purposes here. God has a system, and the name of God that most people associate with his name, there are other names that he has depending upon what attribute he is using at the moment or what message he wants to convey. But the YHVH, as I explained before, the Yod He Vav He, is a system. It is a system. And it's the system that was bequeathed to us here as mankind, as men and women. And the system is the family. The system is man, woman, son, daughter. And I showed this in the Tetragrammaton, the YHVH. The system is, and it has several different layers. Another layer of that father, mother, son, daughter is father, mother, son, bride. You can see it in the Hebrew. And those are just some of the explanations of the system. So that's what we are, and that's why the opposition, the satanic influences, want to destroy it, because it's our system. We are fashioned literally in the image of God. Literally. And that's why I get very upset when people want to degrade what they've been created to be, that they want to be like the fallen angels or, the androgynous or whatever, because that's not what you are. That's not what you were created to be. So people want to put faces. They want to put individuals with systems, to describe what it's like. Well, that's happened. And you're not probably going to like the way I explain this, but the personification of God's system, the personification of it, appeared in Jesus Christ. Yeah, father, mother, son, daughter. Yeah, it was there, and he exemplified it to a T. But of course, they don't want to talk about that because the idea is to destroy the family, to destroy the image of God, to destroy your capability to fill the earth and the universe. So Jesus was the personification of the YHVH, Yod-Heh, Vav-Heh, Jehovah system. Perfect personification of it. All right, well, now let's look at the situation that we have going on right now, the Antichrist system. It is the system that is opposed to that system of mankind's that God gave them with the code name, the code of the system YHVH, Yod-Heh, Vav-Heh, Jehovah, as you know. It's antithetical to that. It is the Antichrist. So the Christ spirit is a system. It's part of that YHVH, the Christ system is, which again was personified in Jesus Christ. Well, now we have the Antichrist system, and it is a system. And it has a lot of people that belong to it and that are promoting it and pushing it. But like the system of our Father, the system of our eternal God, there is a personification that's allowed to come forth. And so while the Antichrist system is a system, there is now a representative of that system on the earth, the personification of it, with all the sophistry, all the deceit. You know, you don't get to be the leader of a third of the hosts of heaven and deceive them and not be pretty damn smart and pretty damn tricky. Pretend to be something you're not until it's too late for anyone to do anything about it. And I identified, the way I see it at this point, who the personification is of that Antichrist system on the earth today. So Jesus Christ was the personification of the system that God created with mankind in his image. YHVH, father, mother, son, daughter, or father, mother, son, wife, bride. And there are other interpretations and other permutations of that. And then there's the Antichrist system that stands against that, which is, what have we seen? Somebody standing up on a stage with an LGBTQ flag, transgenderism, wars, money. You see the point? Offer prosperity, give you something that's already yours by birthright. Say that they're going to give it to you. No, the government was set up to protect you in those rights, the exercise of the gifts that you've already been given. But no, they want to be the officiators, the givers. And I used that analogy before when the devil took Jesus Christ up on top of the mountain. And he said, all this I'll give you if you just, worship me and just say my name and say you'll dedicate yourself to me. Jesus says, hey, get out of here. This is already all mine. He knew. But now we have some very sophisticated characters who are pretending to bring us the liberty that is rightfully ours, that we need to stand up for ourselves. He already made the announcement. Very subtle. This guy's a lot smarter than I thought. He knew better than to let the rabbis come out and declare it, because that would be too obvious. So he's doing it in the play that he's putting on for you. You remember, a lot of people who don't like Christ said that he pretended to die on the cross, that he was somehow sedated, or somebody else stood in for him, or if you've ever studied this, you'll see those arguments. It was a play, they say. None of it really happened. There are people that make that argument. I'm not one of them, but I know of those arguments. So now we have an Antichrist character putting on a play for you. He's made the announcement. And the next step of that I talked about in the video just before this one, when I got some information this morning And with their permission, I discussed it without giving my source. We're already there. So there's a personification of God's system. He was brought on the earth, and that personification, and a lot of us are a personification of that too. You know, you take the name of Jesus Christ on you, you become as he was, as he is. So you become a personification much less perfect. Nevertheless, you're in the image of God. That YHVH, mother, or father, mother, son, daughter, or father, mother, son, bride. Well, the devil has his, and his personification will appear to support what you hold dear, but in fact, you're being convinced to give it up. The masks are a part of that, to take away the image of God so you can't look into another person's face and feel their spirit. 6 foot spacing, okay, yeah, partly for the identification. Yeah, I understand that, but you know, it's also because they're trying to separate people, and we've seen that through this whole COVID thing. And eventually it's going to be where they change your DNA. Since the serpent couldn't get everything taken in the Garden of Eden, he's come up with his minions now under the head of a person who pretends to be against it, but is talking up the medications and the pharmaceuticals and indeed the injections as if they are miracles from God. Do you see? All right, that's all I got. I wasn't going to say it today, but you know, like I'm talking about it, every once in a while I'll just get compelled to state it. Stop denying who we are. Stop denying what we were created to be. Stop trying to be something. They're trying to get you to be like the angels in heaven, and that's not a good thing. That's not. You're not created to be the angels in heaven. You're created to be in the image of God. Adam and Eve were hiding from God as he's after the serpent got done with them, and God was walking in the garden in the cool of day calling out for them. They went and hid themselves, right? Covered themselves with leaves. When they finally came out, they said, well, here we are. And they said, God said, what are you doing? What's all this? Oh, well, we heard you coming and we were ashamed, so we knew we were naked, so we thought we better get clothed. And he goes, who shamed you? Who told you you were naked? You're my creation. You should not be ashamed of my creation. You should be modest, you know, whatever, yeah. But Satan has been trying to destroy this mankind relationship, this image of God, ever since the beginning. And we have a very sophisticated, very evil person now who is personifying this sophistry and this deceit to destroy mankind. Has he stopped the donations to Gavi? Nope. Has he stopped what's happening to people having their families ripped apart? No. Are there still monies going to Planned Parenthood for the destruction of families and children, babies? Yeah. Oh, he defunded abortions. No, he just provided money so they could use the other money, set it free so that he could use it. Something very apparently spectacular in putting down the pedophile networks and specifically the political opposition is going to occur sometime probably before the election. Like I said, it's imminent. And it's going to give more power to this personification of the Antichrist. You know, the Revelation says, he's so powerful. Who can make war against him? People say, well, he's going to be universally accepted. Well, then why would there be people that can't make war against him? Why would Revelation say that there will be those that say he's so powerful that we can't make war against him? He's not universally accepted, but he's deceitful. He's sophisticated. All right. I'll go and leave you with that. I'm going to try to put the program together this evening. I thought I was going to do a green screen tomorrow morning, but I don't want to mess with the possibility that that'll overload the bandwidth I have. So It'll probably be just a regular presentation like I used to do with pictures on the main screen, but we'll see. Okay. All right. Remember, you're of the family YHVH, father, mother, son, wife. And that's why the Bible, the Tanakh, the Old Testament ends in Malachi, and I've talked about it so many times. The last promise of God in the Old Testament. In the latter days, I shall send you Elijah the prophet, who shall turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the children to the fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. He's not coming to destroy the families or to take away your abundant life. You stick with him, and you reject this false prophet and these false Christs out here, and you will obtain your life. Remember Jesus said it? He who seeks for his life shall lose it, and he who loses his life shall find it. I'm not saying you go out and kill yourself or allow yourself to be killed. That's not the point. The point is, don't be deceived by these people. They'll tell you how great your family is and all of that, and they're taking everything away from your ability to survive. In other words, they're helping to destroy you and everybody else. All right. I'll talk to you later. I'm going to finish my walk, okay? Try to have a nice afternoon.